if I sit in a room and I'm sitting on a couch and suddenly I see no wall, no floor, no ceiling, does it mean all these walls and ceiling around me is a mirage that I created when I see it through my eyes, and when I somehow my soul comes out, there's nothing exists except me is sitting there with the space, but nothing is happening.
You see, when you get to these points, many of knowledge seekers will come to this point, is that when you, first of all, when you say God made you in the image of himself, is in the dimension of the soul, not physicality. A step down of it becomes physicality, if you look at it that way. But when you sit on the couch and you don't see the walls and the books and the chairs, means you're looking at it at a higher order of strength. That, as I said, it's like you got the sugar in hand, and then suddenly you put in hot water and dissolves. The sugar is still there and the water is still there. Now you can't see it because you increase the heat. With the soul, you increase the higher strength. So the physicality is still there if you go in the lower strength, but now is not visible to the man. But you, this time, if you reach that point, you still, as what I said, being between the soul and what we call its boundary and the physicality and its principal source, you're now in between. You don't see with the eye of the man. You see with the vision of the soul. But in that communication between back and forth, you translate it to the vision of no floor, because this is your soul and this is the extension of the soul. Before, the soul was in the center and you were in charge. Now, if you look at it, if this is you here and the soul in the middle, now the game has changed. You become in the center and the soul has taken. But in the communication, the soul doesn't go from the center of your physical, what we call soul, out. It still has a center in the middle. So what happens in communicating, being extended, it sees nothing, because in another strength, you will see different dimensions, but you don't see the wall and the floor, because now you are encased in it. And you're seeing what is communicating to its center, that it can extend or communicate with the rest of it. So the wall and the floor are still there, but now you see it through the higher strengths of the soul. Soul has no eyes, but still communicates with the center. Your physicality is sitting here, so you translate the knowledge that you don't see any walls. It's understanding, not just, then you don't become a magician. You cannot create any magics.
So if, Mr.
You
Keshe,
are magic to yourself in a way.
if I get up at that point when I don't see anything and go through the wall, can I go through the wall, or I'm going to hit the wall?
You can do, but you do it to the dimension of the soul. This is how some people you've seen and we show they can grow. If you create a higher dimension, you can go through the wall. You can walk through it, because now it's the soul which carries you, not the physicality. Now the physicality is encaged. You understand?
Yes, I completely understand.
So now it's the knowledge of the man. It's just training to be going through the enhancement unit and understanding, taking that fear out of you. It's very much when you have never driven and you get in the car. To change the gear and get ready and pull the car for the first time into the road where the other cars come, it's frightening. But once you get into it, you know how to do it, you jump out. Have you seen how this compared to the first day you sat in the car? You just get in the car and you drive. Ooh, the other cars beep, boop, oh, I know I'm going to be safe. You're not going to hit me. I'll carry on. We learn. And part of the teachings and these technologies we deliver is to teach man how to trust and be able to go through that point. We take you with the dimension of physicality into enhancement unit, and many of you will walk out of it as a soul. Many of you will claim, your families, your friends claim, oh, he disappeared, our family, blah, blah. But you're sitting there and watching, and you decide, you invite him to the soul, I'm with you, I'm sitting in the house. Do you want me to show you I'm here? You move a table, you move a chair, then you become a magician. But then they understand there are devils, so they go into the machine to be at your level. Magics become understandable because you go a high level. Then you find out if you can go even stronger than that, at the higher strength of the soul of the man, with a deeper strength, then you can reach even galaxies. Instantaneous communication, transportation, translation, you do it with your soul. If there are people who cannot do it, we still give you the spaceship. The space is created by the enhancement unit. The ship is the soul of the man. You have to sail it where you want to. And that's the whole purpose of the teaching. You are the captain. You are the sailor. And then you have to decide. We just provide for you to understand the dimension beyond the physicality.
And Mr. Keshe, my other question is regarding, we were discussing on Friday the section of the brain that has to do with emotion. Because
all of your brain is connected with emotion.
Because
there's not a single piece of it.
You said there was a section of the brain that is a shoe shape, horseshoe shape. That when you go to a space, we have to protect that part, because any interaction of the field with any layer of that section can also bring you to demise. So you might feel something, yes. You might jump into something, yes. But you dissolve yourself, you die.
No.
The question is, what's the anatomy of the...
No. That's when we speak in that level, we speak about the dimension of the field of strength. That part of the brain is millions of kilometers distance between the earth and the sun. Through putting a thicker filter, we condense it for the energy to transfer, to reduce, to become at the strength of the field of the matter state, to understanding of the emotion through the gans of the structure of the body, of the brain of the man. You've got to understand the correct way. In the past, we talked very simple because it even could not be understood. Now you understand the reason. If I put a thicker shield, I reduce more field. You're a doctor. What do you do when you take an X-ray in your dental surgery? You put a big, thick shield on your staff that they don't get the X-ray radiation from the machine. If you do it thinner, they absorb more. And the structure of this part of the body of the man is for a specific reason, because you have to see where it is, how it's shaped, and then what part of the responsibility operation of the man sits beyond that boundary. It's not a shell, it's not spherical. And when you look at this, especially in the world of, let's look at it this way. If you get that shoe shape and you have a soul here, you don't have it spherical all the way. And then you have to see this is three-dimensional, yeah? And you look at it, what sits beyond this dimension in the brain? What responsibility sits here, or we haven't understood the work of this part of the brain yet. On the other side, we can transfer vertically to any strength. When you look at the structure of the brain, it's very, very simple. You have the soul, and the layers which you have created reduces the strength of the field of the soul as it goes further. Here you have the earth. You have a heavier material, heavier understanding. Here you have just a physical mirage, Saturn and Jupiter. You have the physicality of the man here. Here you feel the emotion of sadness, here the emotion of happiness. Or in another part of the body, because you're not aware of the strength of the other field, here you feel the emotion of joy. But it's still on the same ring, but the density of the material in the brain takes part of the strength. So here, you might, let's say you get 10 Tesla. Here on the same ring, because it's slightly weaker, you get 12 Tesla. But this is what I call, you're a doctor, you've been to the medical school. Get a brain and get a very sharp knife and just let it sink and feel the emotion of the sinking, the different strength fields. All that, changing the texture, is another process of the reduction or increase of the field. It's not the same with everywhere. If you put a knife and you come up 1 centimeter down, you feel here a click, here you drop in, because it's responsible for different emotion field strength. And it's the same when you come to the process of the soul of the man, which comes in your dream time. It still goes through the same process, and it still feels this time they feel that way. You see, the mother, because the soul of the mother is talking to your soul, because your soul can get the message to your physicality. Now we understand the process. Now, in the enhancement units, the way we structure it, even our team are not aware of it, we're creating those layers when you sit in. And not two men will feel the same sitting in the same position. It's according to the emotion, field of the soul, and the strength of the soul. As the universal messengers and Mehdi, when we deliver knowledge, we deliver in completion. It's for man to decipher it, and for man to understand the totality. And it's how you understand it, you comprehend it, and you deliver it to your soul, which allows the elevation of it, allow the expansion of it through different dimensions of the creation.